What's up guys, Tech Dad here. I'm sure recently a lot of us have been playing with the two-letter word, AI.
Generative AI, AI is AI. It uses AI to bring AI.
The word that was said over 150 times in the last Google's developer keynote recently, sometime earlier this year, thereabouts. And what has been going on the news recently, I think about 3 weeks ago, a company called Humane AI, which is a startup by two Apple executives, and then they came up with, I'm sure your guess will be as right as mine. It's called the AI pin. I know recently with the whole craze of ChatGPT, large language models, we've had a lot of AI related things on social media, AI this, AI that, AI websites and all that. But the one that has intrigued me recently is the AI pin. And it's done by these two Apple executives, and they believe that this is going to change the way we use smartphones. Really? So first of all, let's just get down to what the device is all about. It's a small device that apparently you can attach as a pin to your chest or however you want to attach it, and the only way you can interact with it is by voice commands, and it has a small projector which you can project to your hands and make some hand gestures to do some controls, which were not so clear during their keynote speech as well. And to be honest, they didn't really seem so enthusiastic about the product. I mean, you're releasing a product that is supposed to revolutionize the smartphone industry, and I think you should be more enthusiastic about it. But that's it. But the question that I think I would want to ask is it really going to revolutionize phone? So let's have a look at what we use our smartphone for. So I think it would be safe to put it in 4 categories: entertainment, communication, both verbal and not verbal, productivity, and archiving. I mean, for entertainment, we use it to look at Instagram, Facebook, watch some YouTube videos like this one. And for communication, what I mean by verbal and non-verbal, I mean phone calls, WhatsApp calls. And non-verbal is possibly when you want to send a text and you don't want to mention it, and possibly in a conference or in a class and you want to send a text message, for instance. Okay? You don't have to send it, you just have to type it, right? And for productivity, obviously emails. I think most of the time I check and reply my emails are mostly on my phone. Other things for that productivity, things like keeping notes, tabs, calendar, track of your appointments, and we can do that all with our phone. And obviously maybe transactions, quite a lot, depending on what you do basically with your phone. Even if you're at work, there's some apps that might be related to your workplace, and use your phone to do that, right? Then the other one will be more or less archiving. So you take pictures and keep it, look at them later for your memories. And also maybe voice recording, voice memos, and documents you just want to keep on your phone that you would like to use later. So I think that's what most of us would more or less use our phone for. So, I mean, the AI pin first will be around $700 to buy it in the first place. And to set it up, you would need a computer to set it up. And one other thing I really hated when they released it was the fact you would require to get a subscription for it. I mean, we have numerous subscriptions already. We don't need another one again. So, I don't know. I think it's just way ahead of its time. The AI pin actually reminds me of a certain device that was designed sometime in the early 2000s. I tried to look for a video about it. It was, I think, a guy from India who used an N95 and a small projector to more or less interact with the world without necessarily using hand gestures. I don't really know what happened, but I mean, it was a concept at that time. It's just like the Google Glass, which came out at a time where it was more or less way ahead of its time. It's now companies are coming up with glasses, and the acceptance is still not as much as the mobile phone, the smartphone, during the era when Apple and BlackBerry all came up with smartphone devices. So the AI pin, I mean, it's one of the only way you can interact with it is through voice command. So just imagine, you want to say send $100 or £100 to maybe Morgan, and he hears Naga, and it sends it to someone else.
My God, okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm. Wait. Calm down.
To say, but I don't know how it works. I don't know how, in terms of voice command, how accurate it is. I mean, we have smartphone devices, the Google Home, Alexa, the Apple HomePod, and sometimes they don't hear us well. So, I mean, how do you think a device that you only will talk to would always do what you tell it to do correctly? And I mean, they mentioned an AI pin. How about the apps that you use for productivity? How are you going to take care on that? How are you going to account for that? And as far as I'm concerned, it's a small device which possibly ChatGPT-4 or ChatGPT just slapped on the back end. Although there are a lot of use case scenarios that I see for this device, I mean, they had a demo where they showed it interpreting, doing translation, and just having a natural conversation with someone you've never had, hasn't spoken your language. So you want to speak to someone in Chinese, and you just tap on the AI pin, and as you talk, translates your English to Mandarin, for instance. And when the person responds, it naturally translates Mandarin to English in real time. So,
estamos casi listos para enviar la versión final.
We are almost ready to ship the final version.
Great. I can't wait. Thanks so much.
Genial. No puedo esperar. Muchas
so
gracias.
yeah, I think those are areas where it might actually come in quite handy. For instance, I mean, as a healthcare worker, we tend to get people who sometimes find it difficult to speak good English, or I mean, based on their background, coming from other countries, they can't really speak much English, but you need a lot of information from them. I can see its use case scenario in this area. I think it's another device that is way ahead of its time. And but let's see. I mean, if possible, I wouldn't mind having my hands on it and see how well it works. It's still a device ahead of its time. I don't think at this time it's going to revolutionize smartphone. I might be wrong. I might be totally wrong, and they come up with some other crazy ways of making the device more interactive. I mean, it's quite nice. It has a small projector, but it's a very low res projector. So, but let's see what the ex-Apple executives have to offer for us. All right. Until next time. See you on the next one. Cheers.